Onkyo TX26 Stereo Receiver. The Onkyo TX26 is a quartz-synthesized tuner amplifier that features a phono input for turntables, a headphone jack, and a remote control. Some users have praised the Onkyo TX26 for its rich, tight bass, clean highs, and broad sound stage. They also like its quirky but likable airplane cockpit-type display. Overall, the Onkyo TX26 is a vintage receiver that may appeal to audiophiles who appreciate its sound quality and retro design. The front panel design for the TX36 and TX26 differs slightly according to the areas for which each unit was manufactured. For example, some units have silver panels and others are black. The features and specifications for the TX36 and TX26 are slightly different. Front panel facilities. 1. Power switch. Press once to turn power on and again to turn power off. 2. APR indicator. Note, the DX local indicator is only on the TX36. 3. Auto manual indicator. For preset tuning indicators. 5. Auto manual tuning switches. Auto, press to perform automatic tuning. Manual, press to perform manual tuning. 6. Tuning selector. Press the up selector to raise the reception frequency and the down selector to lower the reception frequency. Using the tuning selector, manual mode. First, press the manual tuning switch to use the manual tuning mode. Now, when either side of the tuning selector is held down, the tuned frequency will increase or decrease continuously. To tune in a station, press either the up or down tuning selector until you are near the frequency of the desired station. Then, after releasing the tuning selector, press again to change the frequency in single steps until the desired station is precisely tuned. Pressing once changes the frequency by 100 kHz in the FM band and by 10 kHz in the AM band. Using the tuning selector, auto mode. Press the auto tuning switch to use the auto tuning mode. Then press the up or down tuning selector. There is no need to keep the selector depressed as in the manual tuning mode. The tuned frequency will continue to increase or decrease until a broadcast of sufficient strength is reached. To move on to the next broadcast, press the up or down tuning selector again. When the upper or lower end of the frequency range is reached, the displayed frequency will begin moving in the opposite direction. For example, when the down tuning selector is pressed, the frequency will decrease until the lowest frequency is reached and then start increasing again toward the highest frequency even though the down tuning selector is not still being held down. When the down tuning selector is pressed, the frequency will decrease until the lower limit is reached. B. At this point, the frequency will automatically begin increasing for as long as the down side of the tuning selector is not held down. Scanning will not stop for broadcasts weak enough to be suppressed by the muting circuit. To receive a weak FM broadcast, set the FM mute mode switch to the off, mono, position and tune in the FM broadcast using the manual tuning mode. On the TX36, an FM tuning level switch permits the muting level to be switched between high and low. In the high position, scanning during automatic tuning will only stop for stations having a high signal strength. To tune in weaker stations in the automatic tuning mode, set the tuning level switch to the low position. For even weaker stations, set the FM mute mode switch to the off, mono, position, in which case even stereo broadcasts will be heard in mono. 7. FM/AM preset keys. Use these keys to recall an FM or AM station or to store a station in the memory. The preset indicator will light to show which key has been used. Refer to the memory function section for details. 8. Tape monitor switches and indicators. These switches permit two different tape decks to be used for recording, playback, and dubbing. Press once to turn on and once again to turn off. Note that dubbing can only be performed from tape deck 1 to tape deck 2. 9. Input selector switches and indicators. Phono, press this switch to listen to the turntable. Tuner, press this switch to listen to an AM or FM broadcast. 10. Treble control. Adjust to strengthen or weaken treble response. In the center defeat position, the treble tone control circuitry is completely bypassed. When the treble control is turned all the way to the left, a high-cut filter is activated. 11. Bass control. Adjust to strengthen or weaken bass response. In the center defeat position, the bass tone control circuitry is completely bypassed. 12. Subsonic filter, only TX36. Pushing this button cuts off all frequencies below 15 Hz. This is used to eliminate motor rumble and other inaudible low-frequency noises. 13. Loudness control. When listening at low volume levels, depress this button to boost the very high and very low frequencies to provide a more natural sound. 14. FM mute mode switch. On positioned stereo, normal stereo reproduction, monaural broadcasts will be heard in mono. Weak FM broadcasts will not be heard because of the muting circuit. Off-positioned mono, both stereo and mono broadcasts will be heard in mono. During FM stereo reception, the stereo indicator will not light. Weak FM broadcasts will be heard in mono. 15. FM tuning level switch, only TX36. This switch sets the FM muting level to the high or low level. It should be set to the position that gives the best results in your area. High, low. Only strong local stations will be heard. Stations of lower signal strength will also be heard. To tune in stations suppressed even by the low setting, switch the FM mute mode switch to the off, mono, position. 16. Volume control. Turn clockwise to increase the volume level. 17. Balance control. Use this control to adjust the relative volume levels of the left and right speaker systems. 18. FM/AM selector switches, band selector. Press one of these switches to select the FM or AM band. The input selector must be set to the tuner position to listen to a radio broadcast. 19. Memory key and indicator. Press this key to place a station in the memory using the FM/AM preset keys. When this key is pressed, the indicator lights for about 5 seconds. While the indicator is lit, press one of the preset keys to store a station in the memory. The indicator above the pressed preset key will light up and the memory indicator will go out to indicate that memory operation has been completed. 20. Frequency display. The frequency recalled by the FM/AM preset keys or tuned by the tuning selector is displayed here in digital form when the unit is in the tuner mode. Note that even though the frequency display and some tuning indicators remain lit when the phono input selector is pressed, reception is not possible. To return to the tuner mode, the tuner input selector must be pressed. 21. Stereo indicator. This indicator lights when an FM stereo broadcast is being received. Note that it does not light when the FM mute mode selector is in the off, mono, position. 22A. Tuning indicator, tuned, only TX26 operates only in the FM band. 22B. Signal strength indicator, signal strength, only TX36. 23. Speaker selector. This unit can drive 2 pairs of speakers in pairs, A or B, or 4s, A plus B. To listen to both speaker systems at once, depress both speaker selectors. 24. Headphone jack. Stereo headphones with a standard binaural plug can be connected to full volume. The Onkyo TX26 is a quartz-synthesized tuner amplifier that was produced in 1984 to 85. Its specifications include tuning range, FM, MW. Power output, 38 watts per channel into 8-ohm stereo. Frequency response, 20 Hz to 30 kHz. Total harmonic distortion, 0.08%. Damping factor, 35. Input sensitivity, 2.5 millivolt at mm, 150 millivolt at line. Signal to noise ratio, 85 dB, mm, 95 dB, line. Output, 150 MV, line. Semiconductors, 6 EET, 30 transistors, 10 ICs, 76 diodes. Dimensions, 418 by 112 by 340 millimeters. Weight, 7.1 kilograms.
Limit. Paul described this in 2 Corinthians.
The death and resurrection of...
But now that ministry is written on our hearts. Paul went on to say, and I'm quoting here, therefore, since we have such a hope, we are very bold. We're not like Moses, who would put a veil over his face to prevent the Israelites from seeing the end of what was passing away. The result now is...
The Lord will fight for you through your silence. Stop reaching...
To the pigtail, I love you.
Joshua thought it'd be pretty easy to overcome Ai.
Pero escúcheme.
It's 389, 36-month closed-end lease on approved credit, $4,995 to start. Price and lease payments includes dealer discount and factory rebates and expires November 30th, 2023. Must finance through GM Financial. Some offers may require.
The only thing that we know right now is that it came from a 26-year-old out east. You can write the family a letter thanking them.
Holiday dinner. Choose from
The perfect verse.
Six-year-old person.
Yeah. Wow. So you
No estaba claro que inició la persecución y no se dieron más detalles sobre el accidente que involucró a los oficiales. Todos los carriles fueron cerrados en la autopista 57.
Steve, by simply...
And free.
Sí, Roberto de Banais ganó 4.
Heading to the hospital to visit him, but so his...
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me.
Matters is people think it's genuine, and Malay understood that.
Those whose family members have been organ donors, it's great because they continue to live on through other people, and that's awesome. So glad that we were able to talk with you today.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
You guys take care. I love your show. And
Well, thank you. You too.
See ya.
Boom, 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 boom. Nissan has a car for every driver who wants more. More action. More fun.